Alright, welcome back everybody to more Exotic Industries. And I have been fiddling with stuff. I added a new solar power tower over here to add power for our oil refineries over here. And we were dealing with having too much diesel, so I set up this to make more diesel. Well, we had too much kerosene. So I set up that to use more diesel. And then I ran that down here to this. Basically, it's running right through here. Added some more turbines here. And put in this big old bank of liquid fuel boilers to deal with that diesel we had coming in, which you can see we now have 0. And the reason is because once you start burning it all off, it goes rather quickly. And we end up with another bottleneck, which is now that we are almost empty on lubricant. We are almost left empty on heavy oil. We are almost empty on kerosene. And we're full on light oil. Even though, as you can see, I have added a lot more solid fuel boilers. And I have removed all the boilers we had here and put in the combustion turbines. 6 of them. Excuse me, which is doing really good at getting us power. We're pulling 37 in from our turbines over there, 13 currently from the 6 of them, and then 593 kilowatts from the few of those we still have running. And you can see when I hover over this that they're only putting out about 2.2 megawatts of the 10 potential that they can do. But what I want to do today, and I'm probably going to pause randomly in the middle of this, because I'm afraid it's going to get way too drawn out and way too many moments of me sitting around scratching my head going, what in the hell am I doing? I want to attempt, first off, to get rid of all of this. One of those looked like it was, that one. Looked like it was damaged. So is that pipe. Okay, get rid of all of these. We're going to leave that one for right now. And we'll leave the steam pipes. But the idea here is that I want to have another one of these over here. And I'm probably going to put in, say, 4 of these on each side. And then do the same over here with another set of them, which we'll put over here to make sure it's far enough away. And then finally put in some regular boilers here. And then connect all of this up like this. And then basically this will be for different fluids. As I see it right now, the fluids that we have that need to be burned off randomly, depending on where we're at in the day or what we're using, is going to be coal gas, which I did mess around with a little bit and it can be burnt off, petroleum gas, because we are full on it again, because I have cut the pipe that was running over to these, and these are just running on this solar tower right now, which technically they're not running at all because, again, we're full of light. Anyways, coal gas, if we get too full on it, so we can still process our coal into coke over here, because we have been running into the issue of not having coke for our steel production, because all of that coal goes here to be crushed. So I want to put in a way of tapping it off, because you can see it's getting a little full now. But that's because of this steam issue, which we're going to fix while I sit here and ramble like an idiot. By the way, I put in a whole bunch of landfill over here, but I didn't connect this because this is enemy territory out here. And in the next few episodes, at some point, we need to come figure out what this is. I seen that over there. It looks like there's a machine over there with flowers around it. I have no idea what in the world that is. But basically we have this here that is our steam that's producing our oil, and we had boilers down here that were running on coal, and I took them out. I didn't want them, and I honestly do not want these either. We're taking these out of here as well, which means we can get rid of that because it's not going to be needed. But this is our steam line here that is feeding all through this and then feeds up through there. And I want to connect it down to our main steam line. I want to streamline the steam line. That's just, for some reason I'm old and I think that's funny. Your idea of the hilarity of that may be a bit different, but I found it funny. But I've been told that I'm a corny old fuck anyways, so yeah, we'll deal with that. Okay, so do that. So then we can do this, and that will allow us to tap steam off and send it up here, which will take care of our oil production here. It will also come all the way up here and serve to run our benzene processing here. We do have one heat exchanger here that's running off the excess of this, but I'm not sure how long it's going to stay there. And coal gas is going up. We probably are going to put in another one of these. That's why I have this, is so we can keep adding more of those benzene processors in there. Anyways, I'm getting off topic again. So we need to burn off petroleum, coal gas possibly, so we can keep coal gas going, and then diesel, and then solid fuel. That'll take care of the light. So lubricant is going to be ran basically through our drilling fluid and making our robots. That's always going to be used up. We shouldn't have a problem with that. Heavy, always going to get cracked into kerosene. which will get turned into, which will get sent down here. Kerosene, always going to get broke into diesel. So that is the end of these two. And then the light is going to make heavy, is going to make the solid fuel. And the solid fuel is going to be feeding these, and then we'll burn off the excess of it. So if we have too much petroleum, which means we don't need plastic, for some reason at that point, we need to burn it off. Coal gas, if we have too much plastic, or we don't have enough petroleum gas, which should not be a problem with what I'm planning on doing. We need these to run, so that has to be burned off. Diesel, it's a fuel for power. That's what it does. It should be burned off. And then light, it's the last step. This should not run unless we need plastic. So that's why we got to get rid of the coal gas. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to do some logic down here. I always hated trying to figure out the logic stuff in here, and once I got into doing it and I'm starting to understand it, I'm really enjoying figuring it out. So that's what I'm going to take the time to do now, is figuring out the logic behind these. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a pump here, and then another pump here. Each one of these will be connected to their incoming fluid, like that. There are these mini buffers here, and I'll make 3 of these. Each one of these will actually be put here. So that'll go to there. And then same thing over here and here. And these will be the other 2 fluid. And these are going to move down. I don't know why in the hell I put them where I put them. We want to put them all the way down here. And I may honestly move this down even further so we can have more turbines in here. But I think I can just keep feeding turbines off the backside. I don't think I need further. We'll figure that out as we go. But basically it'll be like this. And then each one of these pumps will be determinant on what is in that mini buffer, I think. Again, this is all speculation at the moment, because I'm not 100% sure that's how this is going to work. But basically, if diesel is, well, wait a minute, I can't do that, because what I'm going to need to do is make some of these. So I need to get some copper wires, and I may even automate making these, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be making a lot of these over this playthrough. And yes, I know there's a train that's out of power. I know which one it is. It's the iron one. The iron one is always out of power because I took its coal away, and I don't want to give it its coal back. I'm stingy that way. Alright, just give me a stack of these. And this is where I'm going to go see if I can work this out. And I'm going to save you guys the trouble of watching me try to figure this out. because I'm afraid it's going to be very painful. And I will show you what I figure out, or if I come across something that I think needs to be explained, a concept that I'm doing, I'll bring it back and show you. So give me a sec, I'll be right back. Okay, first thing is there's a diesel tank here. There is a petroleum tank here. Light fuel doesn't matter because it's solid. Coal gas does not have a tank. So I'm going to need to add a tank here. But basically, the first thing I think I need to do for this is we need to put in a pump. Now this goes nowhere. So this needs to be removed, which should have sent that back into there. This can be removed. It'll go back into there. So the first thing that I need to do for both of these is put in a pump, and we're going to set this pump that we want to keep this tank pretty much full. You guys have seen me do this before, so it's going to be that and greater than, and we're going to say 20K because that's the magic number I normally use. So if it's above 20K, it should turn this on. And right now it should be turned off. So we should be able to pump that out of there. And we can pump this down into the other one, into that mini tank. And then we need to do the same thing here. We always want this going that way for making our diesel fuel units. So we're going to take this one out. We're going to put our pump here. We're going to set it. And I'm actually going to copy this one and paste it here. And then change that to diesel, and that'll give me the same one. So now this should be off, and we can easily tell. If you don't know how to do that, you can throw down a thing and hover over it. It'll tell you how much is in there, and it shows that we have 310K in there, and it's red. So that should mean there's no signal going to it. And same thing down here. If I put that here, I connect from there to there. It's going to tell me 14K and it's red. So it's off. So now that'll give me those two. Coal gas is going to be a different story. We don't want to store tons of it. We just need enough to be able to tell if we have more than what we need to have. So we're going to use a buffer for this one that'll tell it to send stuff down. But I'm thinking that I want to put it up here. Yeah, I think I want to put it here and then put a pump here that is going to keep this empty. I want to drain that thing of stuff. And then for this one, we're going to put the pump down here, which we'll say here's fine. But this one is going to connect all the way back up You really can't reach that. You rascal. So I'm gonna have to put in, if I put that there, that should be fine. So then I should be able to jump from there to there to there, and then to there, and then we can paste the same thing onto this, change that over to coal gas. This one is going to have to be a different amount though, because this is a mini buffer and it has a maximum of 2.7k. So we'll say 2,000 for this one instead of 20. Okay, so now that says 2,000, and we're going to put a pipe there to connect it. This is disabled as it should be. So now I just got to run the piping from this one, and this one down through our train system and to those mini buffers that we have down there. And then I also need to run the solid fuel down for the other ones. So I'm going to go give this guy a little bit more fuel, even though he doesn't need it, do the piping, and I'll be back for the next part. Okay, I was going to try to do something a little more complicated. But I'm not sure, one, I need to, and B, I'm not sure I can wrap my head around exactly what it is I need to do. The more complicated idea is basically this. If anybody wants to try to work this out or tell me if they think we're going to need it, I may find out I need it in the future. But the idea I'm coming up with is that if coal gas is greater than 1 or greater than 0, give me an output of 1. And then if this petroleum gas is greater than 1, give me an outset of 1. And then if diesel is greater than 0, give me an output of 1. And we would have these as letters or colors, or we could even do just a check mark, because I believe that we could do this to where we turn each pump on depending on how many numbers we have. So say that we want diesel burned off first, which I kind of do. That one should basically be burned off as soon as it is above the threshold up there. It should instantly be sent down here, burned off. So that's why I'm thinking we don't need this. But basically that would be if the check mark equals 1, and that's what we would set these pumps to. Instead of this, it would be check mark is greater than greater than 0, so that would be 1, or we could do greater than or equal to 1, and then petroleum gas would be coal gas would probably be the next one we'd want to burn off. So then we would set this one to, if the check mark is greater than or equal to 2. since this one's set to 1, this one's set to 2, and then this one would be set to 3. So then if our check mark is greater than or equal to 3, then it would turn on to get rid of the petroleum gas, is what I was thinking. And then this one, I completely thought about it, and we shouldn't be doing solid fuel in these. We should only be doing solid fuel in there if we're low on steam, because we don't have anything else to give us steam. Would be the only reason why we would do that. But then we would need a buffer for steam, so we could check how much steam we have. And I hate buffering steam because I'm an asshole. Everybody hates the fact that I hate buffering steam. But I don't think we need to do that. I think what we actually just need to do is set this to anything or everything. I'm not sure which one it needs to be. Is greater than 0. If there's something that has managed to get down here, then it burns. And that's what we needed to do. These are just burn-offs. If we have determined up there that we have too much of it, it just needs to get burned off. So if there's anything in that mini thing, turn it on, burn it off. The only reason why I'm thinking we might want to do the more complicated would be if we weren't using enough steam. And I haven't gotten to that point yet where we're not. And see, this is another problem we have, which is that we have gotten to the point where we're not using enough steel, so we're not using enough of our coal coke, and we filled this up so we're not making the benzene or benzol for making the plastic. Though, as you can see, we're now full on plastic, so that's not a major issue. So this currently, as it stands, is basically writing itself. We're not needing the steam, so we're not needing to produce the steam. We're not making the coal gas, so we don't need to burn it off. And we don't need it to make the plastic because we're full of plastic. So I think I'm going to leave it the way we have it here. And the only other thing is we need to deal with the light oil. Now, if we don't burn it off, we can turn it into petroleum gas. We can turn 30 light oil into petroleum gas and then burn it off directly. We could also burn it off as the fuel. The fuel value is 100 kilojoules. And the solid fuel is... See, I think the solid fuel is going to be better if we burn it that way, because its fuel value is 12 mj, which this is 10 of those to make it, and this was 100, so roughly exactly the same, I think. I'm thinking that's what I'm getting there with the back of my brain math. I think that's right. It's nighttime. We shouldn't be making steam from anything right now. But we're still using up some of it from the daytime, I guess. I guess we'll find out when we do more things in the factory if we still have a problem with that. But the light fuel not being burned off is not a major issue if we're full on plastic. So as it stands, I think we pretty much have that worked out. I'm going to leave it like that. This is finally getting empty, which I love. I'm so happy to get that out of there. By the way, I also lied. That train never did get his fuel. He's still pissed off over here and out of fuel. It's basically this guy. And that is what we're going to work on next time, is we are going to look at these train upgrade receiver and supplier, see if we can see how they work, basically. If there's something I want to mess with. I'm not even sure I really want to mess with them. And then I'm going to change this guy once we do that over, so he'll be going to the fuel depot and getting fuel properly, using up more of our diesel. It is kind of sad that he's literally going from here to there and going to have to run to the other end to get his fuel. But, you know, we need to get rid of the diesel. But we're going to see what we can do to figure that stuff out. And I will be back with you for that. And then I believe the next thing after that is going to be getting us solar panels, so I can make my portable solar panels so I can actually use my bots, because currently I can't use my bots because I don't have the solar panels to give me the power. So we're going to have to look at where in the hell to go? How to make semiconductor wafers. And so that'll be a whole another bit of fun we get to get into. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys in the next one for playing around with this rolling stock thing. Have a good one.